All right, this will be a feedback slash critique for Vapeur Chaude. I don't know how to pronounce that. Uh, you know, uh, yeah, you guys know the drill, or you might not. I go by TK Shazam on the Discords. I like, I'm just a nerd who likes Tekken and talking about it. Let's just go into the match. Okay, so initially, I think you make a lot of good adjustments from the first round, right? Trying to call stuff out. That's fine. Unfortunate capitalization. But it feels like... Okay, so right here... this is fine. This is not going to be the first time you get like a wall combo off of this. It's not going to be the last. A big thing for Paul in Tekken 8 is going to be maximizing stages like this, where the environmental hazards basically explode his combo damage, right? If you can, especially on Underground Arena, where I think it's probably the best Paul stage right now as we currently know it, try to get more familiar with what the combo routes are. There's going to be a lot of combo optimization comments, right? I'm not going to harp on it too much. I'm just going to say, hey, optimize the combo here. And I think stage hazards, especially because Paul has so many wall splatting options, that it turns into even the most benign thing into a full combo, and you need to take advantage of that. Here you got the kill. It's not that big of a deal, but I'm saying in the future, even if it was going to, even if less hits would kill, if you're not using a resource, if you're just doing your basic combo round, be prepared as if it were a full combo, right? So be cognizant of like, okay, what is my full combo route from Demo Man as a launcher, right? Which is an insane thing to think about. But it's something to be aware of, right? How much can you optimize? And you want to do all that optimizing outside of real matches, right? You want to do it in the practice mode and lab, so that's muscle memory when you get to this point. I think you... I don't know. Ranks are weird in this game. Some people just get by on slamming their offense and not understanding anybody. For him to not immediately duck after the standing 3-2, maybe it was tournament nerves, but I think you want to confirm that, right? You're in a tournament, you're in a first to two setting. Even if the opponent knows, if they're not punishing properly, you want to take advantage of every little thing you can get. Make sure that they prove to you, right, that they actually know what the punish is for standing 3-2. If they don't, you have a free, massively plus entry into backsway options, and you should be abusing that accordingly. But I mean, at the end of the day, that's my 2 cents. Okay, so you try to whiff punish... Oh, and the... This is going to be a tough one. So you rely a lot on quarter circle back 3-2 series, and yeah, you mix it up, but it's like, why even bother with it in the first place, right? If the opponent is a lot more aggressive in mashing, then sure, I think maybe it can work. But for it to be like the a part of your offense as often as it is, it's just going to get you killed, right? Because you're not building up anything with it. For Paul, you need to be building up those counter hits. You need to be developing a sense of how to punish the player, punish their habits and tendencies. That's where the real chunky reward lies in, right? To use the core circle back 3 string as a call out against jabs against down forward 1, that's fine, but kind of trying to force mix-ups, and these canned mix-ups is just not going to work well in your favor. Even if you do mix it up, like later in the round you mix it up with the mid and you get a really nice reward for it, I think you need to be utilizing his other tools way more, right? You need to be able to get that sense of how to mix up your timings with quarter circle forward 3, how to use down forward 4 for the approach, how to use quarter circle back 4 for space control, right? And getting more familiar with those things as opposed to you know, all right, opening time, time to do a mix up with the canned string. That works. That's hilarious that works. That's why I talk about optimizing combos. You could have gone squeezed out a bit more damage, right? And now here's the thing. So normally I'm not someone to really care that much about optimizing combos. Damage is damage, right? However, I think each player has their own limit that they need to push themselves. I know for a fact that I will never do quarter circle forward one loops, right? I practice them for fun, and maybe in the future I'll do it in practice mode for fun, but it's just not something I want to do in tournament. I choose to focus on super simple, that's consistent for me, but also still a decent chunk of damage, right? Because now that you had this opportunity and now that it's over, immediately the Leo's going to be aggressive and they start building up back that gray health, right? And if you had suddenly taken them into rage, all of a sudden they're building up that back up that gray health, but they're keeping their rage bonus, right? And that's not a great look for you, right? So this is where taking combo optimization matters. Even if you say you only got like 10 points more damage of this current health bar, but maybe that health bar is now closer to that threshold, that rage threshold, and you want them to be just shy of that rage threshold. Because when they're just shy of that rage threshold, I think it's like, what, 42 health points or something, right? All of a sudden, a single poke or a jab into a throw will kill, right? Or if you get a really good read on their timing, a down forward 4 counter hit will kill them with forward 2 as the counter hit confirm, right? Basically, you're giving the opponent less to work with and making your job easier, where now you have to win on more interactions or pray that you get a good launch in there when you could have killed with a good read on a counter hit or immediately doing down forward 4 into throw, right? If the down forward 4 hits, cool, free damage, and then you throw them. If it doesn't, okay, you get blocked, move on to something else, right? The back 1-4 mix up, when Leo does their initial stance from back 1-4, you can negate the entire stance with forward 1+4, right? However, they have options against that. They can do their homing high counter hit launcher, and it will hit you out of it. But for them to have this crazy mix-up stance that they can go into from a lot of things, and to negate that entire mix-up into 2, maybe 3 options if they focus on the cancel a lot, makes your life way easier than having to guess between low, mid, high, plus on block high, launching mid, or counter hit launching low, or whatever else Leo has from that stance, right? Use forward 1+4 to threaten that you will negate their entire mix-up and force them into their own mix-up, right? They have to guess. Am I going to press a button and then get hit out by the giant sidestep shoulder Paul has? Or am I going to commit to the homing high, which you, on a good read, will either just block for safety or you duck it and now you're launching them, right? Control the pace of the opponent. Don't let them just run their game plan for free. I feel like that's punishable, but I'm not sure. If you have these replays saved, look over this replay with frame data on, right? Where could you have done things differently? Use replay takeover. How could that have gone? Stuff like that. Yeah, that part's tough. That's just kind of a Leo thing. You have to expect that your mids are going to get evaded. Leo especially is really annoying with that. Is it Bach? No, Bach I think is the one-legged stand. The dipping stance that they do, right? You just kind of let them go. I think really, I'll talk about it later. Guessed wrong, unfortunate. Did they kill you? No. But you were over eager on applying the punish. Let's keep going. I'll chalk that up to nerves, but obviously optimize your combo there. Okay, so what was the reasoning here, right? Was it nerves? Was it you thought you had a punish, right? This Leo seems very happy to pull the trigger on whatever weird offensive move they're going to do. And you need to get more comfortable in kind of accepting that you have to sacrifice offense every now and again. There are plenty of characters in this game. Yoshi, Devil Jin, Azucena, kind of. Any character with a strong backswing blow, Dragunov. There's going to be offensive sequences where you have to make a read of, I'm putting on a lot of pressure on the opponent. I think they're going to mash out a panic option, like their backswing blow or their evasive stance. So I will instead hold back. That's just something that'll come with patience and time, I guess, and experience. But you want to get into that habit of, you got to know when to pump the brakes. Sometimes that'll mean you sacrifice a big situation, sure. But especially against characters like Leo, you need to know when to hang back and kind of let the Leo play out their offense a little bit, and then figure out like, okay, if this is how they like to play, are they gonna mash when I'm pressuring them? And if they mash, what do they mash with, right? Basic combo, Wow. I'm 90% sure that's a launch, so just confirm it. Unfortunate. Okay, so where do I feel it could have gone better? Like look at all this stuff that you're basically letting the Leo get away with, right? Why are they able to dance in front of you like this, right? Right here, that should have been a death fist. I think part of that is nerves, right? And so I'm willing to kind of just go, I'm not going to harp on this point too much. However, I think you need to get into the habit of using quarter circle forward 3, quarter circle back 4, quarter circle back 2, even quarter circle back 1, and start controlling the space. This Leo should not be able to feel like they can just approach you with whatever they want, right? A down forward 2 that's well timed, a quarter circle forward 3, right? Any of that stuff. Get your chip damage in. It's not a lot of damage, but it will make them second guess their offense, right? Because they'll start getting hit. They have to either make a big call out against that, right? But it's not just going to be them, all right, let me just switch a bunch of stances and then get in on you for free, right? Or, that happening. I forgot to the usual. Neutral, punishment / matchup knowledge, combo / Yoki, personal opinion stuff. Neutral. You're a bit too passive and neutral, and it's not going to bode well for Tekken 8's future. You don't need to go super unga bunga brainless defense or brainless offense, right? But you need to be more active in defense. Try to maintain a position where your throws, your tools like quarter circle back 4, quarter circle forward 3, your mids can all maintain relevant threats, right? Force the Leo into extending themselves into your punishment, or how should I say it? Whiffing a bunch in your face, and then you want to be more familiar with the whiff punish. Yeah, part of it is nerves, and I get that. But the other part of it is just like you're letting the opponent whiff a lot of buttons, and you're not doing anything to punish them, and that's Paul. You have to be the punish guy, right? That's what you signed up for at the character select screen. Or even if you don't whiff punish them, right? Down forward 4 as a free approach tool. Quarter circle forward 3 for chip damage when they're recovering, right? Even if it's not a full-on whiff punish, just kind of taking each of these whiffs as an opportunity to quickly maybe go for some chip damage, go for a free approach opportunity, stuff like that, right? Of course, there's always exceptions. There's always going to be them whiffing a button and it's actually a bait and they throw out another button and they catch you approaching. That will happen, but I think by and large, there's a lot of opportunities here that you're leaving out on the table because you're not necessarily taking advantage of the whiff, right? Even if you don't get a punish, it's an opportunity to do something to maybe start some offense. Other aspects of neutral, I don't think you're jabbing, and I think You're not jabbing enough, right? Because a lot of what you do to enforce your plus frames when you get an opportunity seems to be 1-2. And I'm not sure why, right? Don't commit to 1-2 when you don't need to. 1-2 is an approach, 1-2 is a punish, 1-2 is keep out can kind of work, right? But if you're just trying to apply your offense, just do a 1 jab, right? Yeah, the range is whatever, but that's why you get comfortable with that spacing. You have to get comfortable with the range that Paul's jab goes and become familiar with when you can't and can't jab, right? Because it just feels like you're giving up a lot of your turns by just going, all right, I'm going to do the safe thing and do 1-2, which, sure, you're safe, you're advancing, cool. But you don't have any plus frames to work with, and Paul needs to take advantage of every plus frame that he can get. JDCR has a pretty good video on 1 jab. Just try to get more into the habit of starting your offense and utilizing 1 jab as a way to do that. Other aspects of neutral. I think that's it for now. I'll move on to something else, but if you have questions, just feel free to ask. Neutral punishment slash matchup knowledge, right? I think your movement is too linear. You're just not moving around the screen enough. If you stay in a straight line, Leo will eat you alive. You need to become familiar with their kit. If you have this replay saved, use replay takeover. Just, okay, I see this offensive sequence they're doing. Could I have stepped? If so, what direction, right? There are some fucked up things. In Tekken 7, Leo's down forward 2 was buffed to track better or some shit like that. I don't know if that's still the case in Tekken 8, but confirm it, right? Use the replay takeover and kind of figure out, okay, what can you step? What can you do? If you just stay in a straight line like this, the Leo's going to eat you alive for free, right? This also applies to the wall. Not just in this match, but in a lot of your matches. It feels like you were comfortable just fighting your way out of the wall when you need to be moving out of the wall, right? I think this is Paul's best stage, or at least it's my favorite for Paul, but it's also just as likely a tool for the opponent. If you just stay with your backs to the wall, only moving forwards and backwards without any lateral movement, you're just letting them get free wall splats on you, and in this stage, free combos, essentially. So consider how you just need to start sidestepping, right? You just need to start sidestepping and getting more comfortable and figuring out when you can and can't. There's a lot to sidestepping, but you're not going to be able to grasp it if you're not doing it, right? Other aspects of punishment slash matchup knowledge. Brush up on your combos and punishment, right? I'll let go of some of the stuff. Again, I understand nerves were a factor, but there's only so much you can do. But before you go, I blocked a hell sweep and I did standing 3-2 as a punish, and that's just not going to cut it, right? I think just optimize the punishment there. Combos slash Oki. I thought your combos were fine. I already talked about my optimization bit, so that's kind of whatever. Oki, was there an opportunity for Oki? What was the opportunity for Oki? Because you won the first one. Run up low, run up low. I don't know. I think your Oki is fine. I like the offense that you go for, and then you alter your timing by hanging back a little bit and then run up forward. I think that was solid. No comments on Oki. Personal opinion stuff. I've pretty much already talked about it. There's not really much else for me to say here, right? Like I said, I do not recommend 3-2 in the neutral, obviously. But if your opponent is just letting you get away with it, why the fuck not, right? Just throw it out there. If they're not punishing you, that's their problem, right? Don't make it your layer one. Don't make it a core part of your offense. But if you can sense that, the opponent's just going to let me get away with this, abuse it. It's that simple, really. Other aspects, other personal opinion stuff. I need to see more lows than just back 4. I like your usage of back 4, but I need to see more quarter circle forward 3, maybe some sidestep 3 once you start incorporating sidesteps a bit more. You are limiting the range at which you are an effective threat. Yes, quarter circle forward 3 is your longest range low. Yes, there are going to be times where it's so obvious that you're going to do quarter circle forward 3 that the opponent gets you for it. Whatever. You need to use it more. Paul's ability to be a threat at any range is what makes him very valuable, right? It makes his core kit so strong. And at first you might think, well, core circle 4-3 is not a very threatening low. And sure, it's not. It's not about this Omega 50/50 demo man level threat, right? It's about, you have a button that basically says, hey, get 17 free damage whenever you want in the round, as long as you're within that range. Its range, again, is pretty good, right? Why aren't you using it more, right? For every situation that you could have, stood there still and you're in quarter circle forward 3 range, you could have gone, all right, let me get 17 free damage, right? Or you could have gone, oh, I hit you with quarter circle forward 3 once, later on you do it again, you got 34 free damage, right? It adds up, right? It's chip damage, it's real damage, it's not this gray health stuff. Gray health is nice, but your opponent never gets an opportunity to recover that real health they lose to your lows. Other aspects of personal opinion stuff. Not really. I've been rambling a lot already. I guess I've been doing a lot more coaching in this Discord, so that option is there provided our schedules line up. I'm not making any promises. I don't know when the fuck work is gonna destroy me, but if you have questions, right? People are super helpful. People are super nice here. They will answer when they can. And that's about it, right? If you have any questions, let me know. Have a good one.